welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another Sacred Union Energy Update. This is going to be just a quick check-in on what's going on for these counterparts. I don't think I'm going to do Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine Union energies today. I think we're just going to get kind of like a blanket spread, a blanket reading here, just to see what's going on. We are in eclipse energy. It is very potent, very powerful. I might be sharing some of my own personal experiences in a Sacred Union Energy Update coming up this week. So make sure that you're staying tuned. There's been a lot of soulmate energy coming through. This could either be soulmate, as in, another person, or this could be the twin soul energy versus the twin flame energy. And I talk about that in my Twin Flame Truths channelings. You can check out the series here on the channel, some excerpts from that workshop. There is a difference in the energy, and I like to differentiate it by calling it twin flame versus twin soul. Could be a different person, could be the same person, but that twin soul energy feels very harmonious, feels much more peaceful than your previous connection might have in the past, or your previous version of your connection in the past. It feels still compatible, still very loving, still very open, still very fiery, but it's not with that same intensity as you were going through the healing journey in the past. So that's why I differentiated between twin flame and twin soul. Could also be a soulmate, a high vibrational soulmate. So we're going to talk about that later this week, so make sure that you are subscribing and staying tuned. But right now what I want to do is just a general check-in and see what are these counterparts experiencing right now in the lead up to the eclipse energy and the new moon. So let's see what's going on right now in these connections. What's going on in these connections, please, Spirit? What's going on in these connections? I thought this was the deck we're going to use, but now I'm seeing another one. Let's try this one. What's going on in these connections, these sacred partnerships? Could be nothing. We channeled at the beginning of the week that it kind of felt like we were in a little bit of a void. Like things felt pretty peaceful, pretty still, like not much was happening. And it was almost like this calm before the storm kind of energy. And when I say the storm, it doesn't feel like it's a tower moment. It doesn't feel like it's stormy weather. It just feels like the buildup, right? The quiet, the calm before the buildup. And that's what this energy kind of feels like. We were picking up on that somewhat last week, and that's what this feels like now as well. We have the card Gaia. It says wisdom, knowledge, spiritual understanding. So in this stillness, in this quiet, you might be receiving a lot of insight and a lot of understanding. I'm also getting there's a lot that's happening in dream state, and I'm specifically hearing dream state activations. So you might be activated into a higher level, getting upgrades. I'm also seeing your third eye and crown chakra being opened in your dream state. It's activating within your dream state. There's a lot that's still continuing to happen energetically that you might not entirely consciously be aware of in your physical world, in your physical form. But there seems to be some activations that's leveling up. I'm specifically feeling that for the divine masculines, especially when it comes to the crown and the third eye. I do feel like specifically for the masculines, their crown and their third eye is continuing to open, and they're beginning to see things from new perspectives. They're beginning to see things especially from the feminine perspective where they hadn't allowed themselves that before. I do feel like they're seeing things from the feminine perspective, having that understanding of where she was coming from. Where there was a lot of projection from the triggers and from the wounding, I feel like a lot of that projection is beginning to recede. I feel like it's beginning to really be understood in a new level. I feel like the masculine energy is really beginning to understand where they were projecting, where they were just repeating patterns of old wounding and old pain, and they were projecting their triggers, especially onto their feminine or onto other relationships outside of themselves, is what I'm hearing. Um, there was a need for them to ground. I'm also hearing a need for the divine masculine to ground that they hadn't experienced previously. This was it's almost like the integration, the balance, the union, where they were integrating the spiritual understanding that they've become aware of now and grounding that or integrating that into the physical form. So grounding with the earth, not just becoming spiritual, but understanding the need to ground that energy or integrate that energy. So it does seem like there's a lot that is happening energetically, a lot of activations and upgrades happening energetically. Divine Feminines, I feel like you might just be going with the flow of things. I don't feel like you are. I don't feel like much is happening for you. I'm hearing par for the course. And so what I feel like is you're just kind of going about your life, going about your days. You are just, continuing your mission, continuing your embodiment, continuing in your self-mastery, and continuing to level up in that respect, continuing your studies, your businesses, your family, whatever this is, you're continuing and leveling up, like I said, in that respect. But I feel like it's been pretty steady. I'm also getting the feeling like there's going to be some changes coming in for the divine feminine, where it's going to be welcoming in more of that abundance, more of that love, more of that affection, more relationship, more commitment. I feel like we're leading up to that, but right now this energy currently just feels pretty steady. Like you're on track. That's what they just said. You're on track. There's nothing to worry about. You're on track. And so if it feels like nothing's happening and you're just kind of like going about your daily life, it's because you're on track. And I'm also hearing Spirit say, your ascension is meant to be peaceful. It is meant to be peaceful. When it wasn't peaceful, it's just because you were clearing out. Excuse me. It's because you were clearing out. Exactly. You were clearing out a lot of that soul sludge, a lot of that dense energy. But when you clear that out, it feels much more peaceful, as my sinuses are getting cleared out. It feels much more peaceful. It feels much more just like an energy of love and calm. And you might not be used to that, especially if you experience so much drama and so much upheaval. Now, that's not to say that life doesn't have excitement or adventure or even drama, but it's not going to be the pain that it was. It's not going to be the trigger that it was. Life is going to be very exciting and very adventurous, and it might even have some of that drama, but it's not going to be attached to that lower frequency energy, that denser energy, that the pain patterns, the wounding, the trauma, etc. It's not going to be attached to that. It's going to feel much more peaceful. The excitement, the adventure is going to feel much more peaceful and much more aligned. Okay. Yeah, look, sacred journey. This is where you are. And do you remember, this is what I had showed you guys as well in part of that twin flame truce. This is your ascension, moving from one phase of your journey to the next, to the next, to the next. This is your ascension. This is what it looks like. And we've been in this kind of transition period here, but we are elevating, we are expanding. And I feel like as we move into the new year, we're going to be in this and really start to see in the physical world the proof in the pudding is what I'm hearing. We're going to start to see the evidence that we have shifted into this next phase of our ascension journey. We already have shifted energetically. We've been in this transition, so it might feel like we're going back and forth a little bit. It's just bringing it into balance. It's bringing it into alignment. But now we are really shifting into this next phase within the physical form, within our human experience. And so you're going to start seeing maybe you're going to make some job changes or financial changes. Maybe you're going to start experiencing different relationships, or your dynamics are going to be different. Maybe some of you are going to be moving or traveling or starting a new business or moving into a different job or promotion. But you're going to start seeing the physical evidence of the shift that you felt within yourself. The end of one phase of your journey and of your ascension. Now you're moving into this embodiment energy, moving into the next phase of your journey. All right, let's see what else is going on. I'm going to put that there. I'm hearing it's okay to take it slow. I've been working my butt off this week with my own businesses, with the crystal shop that I work at, and I was just thinking when I got home today that I'm just tired and I just kind of wanted to veg. But I did want to do this reading, and I just kind of wanted to veg and chill out and just relax and take care of myself. And I'm hearing from Spirit now, reminding me of what I was feeling. It's okay to take it slow, especially in this eclipse energy. It's okay to take it slow. You don't have to push yourself. And that's not just for this eclipse energy, that's at all. You don't have to keep pushing yourself. There's new energy that's coming in, especially with this eclipse energy. So you guys might be feeling that. And there might be kind of a call to slow down. You might have been really called to rest lately, to sleep, to take naps. That's good. That's a good thing, because what you're doing is you're giving your body a chance to integrate all of the energy that is being brought in. I'm hearing the word absorbed. So there's a lot of energy that's coming through with this eclipse energy that is helping us to shift. And so your body is kind of catching up to that. Your physical body is catching up to that. I'm also hearing, so balance that out with movement, because I'm also hearing movement, allowing your body to move, not being sedentary. So allow yourself to rest when you need to rest, but also allow yourself some kind of movement, whether this is stretching, whether this is movement, or like some kind of physical movement, walking. Allow yourself to move as well, because that gets the energy flowing. So balance that out. Balance the two out. Rest when you're called to rest. And what they're saying is this is called trusting your intuition, listening to your body, being in tune with your body. So listen to what your body is telling you. It's communicating with you its needs. So nap or rest when you need to rest, and move to get the energy or keep the energy flowing. All right. Spirit, what do we need to know with these sacred partners? What do we need to know with these sacred partners? Two of Pentacles, and I love this. This is what we channel all the time, this infinity sign, right? This is that give and receive. This is the beautiful equal flow of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. This is what union is depicted as. It is this infinite love that exists between you guys, and when you're in wholeness and they're in wholeness, what happens is you're able to both give and receive love, both for yourself and for each other, in this beautiful harmonious relationship. Give and receive and give and receive. This is that harmony. This is that balance. We have the Judgment card. This is what we were just channeling as well. It's moving from one phase of the journey into the next. And I feel like you're kind of in this corridor where you're kind of in this transition energy. So sometimes it might feel like you're going back into the old energy. You're just removing some of that residual energy. You're just removing some of that, what I like to call that debris. You're just continuing to heal. I discovered that I was very emotional. I think it was like Thursday and Friday, all of a sudden, just out of nowhere. And I realized it was the eclipse energy. Even though I was emotional, I was able to observe those feelings, not attach a story to it, and just let myself feel it and let it go. And it was transmuted very, very quickly. I was able to hold space for myself, and my friend was holding space for me, and it was just transmuted so incredibly quickly, within like an hour. And what I realized was there was a lot from the past that I thought I had healed and resolved that was coming back up. Stuff from my childhood, old relationships, that I thought that was completely resolved, that was just coming back up as just like a residual energy. I like to call it like a pinprick, right? Because it's not a trigger. There was nothing really triggering about it. It was just, old stuff that still wanted to be acknowledged, wanted to be felt, just coming back around again to be released. And because it was transmuted so quickly, I know that it wasn't heavy. It was almost like what I'm seeing is like dislodging within the soul. Anything that is still there, even the tiniest bits of it, the pinpricks of it, it's like it's becoming dislodged and coming to the surface to be healed. So you might feel like you're coming back to old energy, to old journey, but you're not. You're still moving ahead. You're still moving towards that next part of the journey. And I feel like this is the doorway of the new year, where it's like we are really moving into and balancing out this energy and moving into this rebirth of our ascension, rebirth of ourselves, essentially. Let's get one more. And the Empress. The divine feminine energy is rising. We talked about that in the Camelot channeling, Out of the Cave. Make sure that you're checking out Susan Dawn Ascension Connections. We have a Camelot series, unexpectedly channeling Merlin over there. And we talked about that in some other written channelings as well, where the divine feminine is really rising. Not just within divine feminines, those who are divine feminines as their core essence, but even in the masculine as well. And as the masculine understands and integrates and honors the feminine energy, no longer suppressing the feminine energy within themselves, that's what activates the divine masculine. Previously, the masculine was in a place of distortion. So was the feminine. But feminine, she's gone through that healing journey. She's reached her inner union. She's balanced out her masculine, healed her inner masculine, and healed her inner feminine by allowing her inner feminine to rise. Divine feminines had in the past been very over masculinated. She had been too much in her masculine energy and denied her feminine energy. And that denial came from society, came from the patriarchal conditioning that we've experienced, right? And so through her healing journey, she's really allowed herself to step back into the feminine, and with her inner masculine providing that sense of safety and security in which to do so, she's reached that balance, she's reached that inner union. She has healed and integrated, embodied all of that energy so that she becomes the divine feminine. Over on the masculine side, the masculine was in a place of distorted masculine energy. Greed, control, avarice, passivity, inauthenticity, focus too much on the material, focus too much on the external, etc., etc., etc. So what happens is the feminine, the more he is honoring the feminine within him, the expression, that's what the feminine activates within him when he meets his divine feminine. The more he understands his heart, the more he allows himself to feel his emotions, the more he allows himself to express his emotions, opens up that throat chakra, the more he's able to connect to himself and to higher power, opening up that crown, opening up that third eye, trusting his intuition. That's all the feminine energy within him that becomes activated. The more he does that, the more it actually activates his core essence of divine masculine, because then he's coming into balance and that masculine energy rises and he understands, oh, this is what it is to be a true leader. It's not control, it's not domination, it's not manipulation, it is authenticity. It's allowing myself to have that empathy. It's allowing myself to express my emotions and even have my emotions where all of that energy had been so suppressed in the past. The more the feminine is honored, cherished, understood, and received, the more he becomes the divine masculine. And so I love that the Empress is here as the divine feminine, because this is the gateway. We're moving into the balance of the divine feminine, receiving the divine feminine. And again, it doesn't negate the divine masculine. The divine masculine is birthed through the divine feminine energy. It's beautiful because that's what creates that harmony. That's what creates that partnership. That's what creates that love. Oh my gosh, look at bottom of the deck, Two of Cups. That's what creates that love. That's what creates that union of energies. Not just relationship, although that is how the union is expressed in the physical form, but the energy, the union of energies between the divine masculine and the divine feminine. That's what these sacred partnerships are all about. It's about the union of energy. And you and your divine counterpart, If you're divine masculine, this is about your divine feminine. If you're a divine feminine, it's about your divine masculine. You are the core essence, divine masculine or divine feminine. And if you were on this twin flame journey, this sacred partner journey of sacred union, this path to ascension, it is about the energy of the masculine and the feminine embodied in physical form with each other, with physical partners. I think this is an Ascension relationships reading. This is unexpected. All right, what else do we need to know? What else do we need to know for these sacred partners right now? What else do we need to know tonight, please, Spirit? Anything else tonight? 9 of Wands. I feel like there's still some stuff that's coming up, and it's going to be triggered. This eclipse energy feels big, but I feel like it's coming up to the surface. Anything that's coming up doesn't feel heavy. It might be really challenging for the divine masculines, especially those who have been in stubborn energy or resistance energy, especially those who were having a lot of trouble facing themselves. I'm getting called to Taylor Swift. She just dropped her new album. At the shop, we used one of the sounds for one of our TikTok videos. Make sure that you're following us over there. If you don't, it's a lot of fun. But it's me. Hi. I'm the problem. It's me. I don't want to sing it. It's me. Hi. I'm the problem. It's me. It's me. Hi. I'm the problem. It's me. It's that song. I think it's called Anti-Hero. It just dropped. And that song, that sound has been all over TikTok, all over social media. And so we use that sound. That's why it's in my head. But they're just reminding me of it now. And it's like, yes, facing yourself. Where you were really defended against yourself, you're now facing yourself. And I feel like that's especially what the divine masculine is experiencing. And I feel like they're facing their resistance. Very specific message right there. Facing your resistance. You're facing your resistance. If you were in a stubborn energy, a prideful energy, I feel like now you're being asked in this eclipse energy to face your resistance. Divine feminines, you could be experiencing this too, but I feel like it's more the masculine energy. It could be the masculine within you. I feel like with this Knight of Wands, you're recognizing all the battles that you fought in the past, but through this facing your resistance, you're understanding that in essence, you were truly just facing and battling yourself. There wasn't really a battle where you felt like everyone was against you, where you felt like everyone was the enemy, where you felt like everyone else was to blame. You're really just facing yourself. This is ownership. This is accountability. This is self-responsibility. And I feel like it's been incredibly painful because that kind of self-awareness can be painful. But I feel like you're looking at the past and you're allowing, I'm hearing take up the mantle. So I feel like you're allowing yourself that. You're allowing yourself to heal now. You're allowing yourself to surrender, let down that guard, and face the past, face yourself, face your resistance, and taking up the mantle of this ascension journey, taking up the mantle as far as I feel like the divine masculine is becoming the divine masculine. I don't know how else to put this. I feel like they're doing the inner work and really focused on doing the inner work in order to take up the mantle. It's almost like recognizing how much work the divine feminine has done and seeing the fruits of that labor, seeing the harvest, seeing the results of that work, because she's in a new energy. She is expanded in love, in light, in beauty, in her life. She's just grown and expanded so much, but that did not come without effort. She went into the deepest, darkest aspects of herself. She went through hell. The divine feminine went through hell on this journey, time and time and time again. I'm just seeing that spiral deeper and deeper and deeper inside of herself. Meditations, energy work, energy healings, inner child healing, reparenting, past life regressions. She just went through all of it. Really looking in the mirror, journaling, counseling, therapy, whatever this was, divine feminine did it. She did all of it in order to really heal herself. That was her purpose. She went through this massive healing journey, really facing herself and all aspects of herself, the dark and the light, the shadows. And what's Callie's actually coming in because Callie actually assisted the Divine Feminine to see all aspects of herself. Callie being that dark feminine energy, and understanding that the dark feminine is just one aspect. It's not all of her, but it is one aspect. And the dark feminine, even though it's called the dark feminine, because she has the power to almost like create destruction, but understanding that from that destruction comes creation. That's Kali Ma energy. Kali Ma is an amazing energy. She is so fierce. She's a warrior. She is an amazing guide. She helps us through the transition. She's the divine mother. Kali Ma is a divine mother energy. And you understand that in order to create, there has to be destruction. And so sometimes things have to be destroyed in order for something new to be created. They're actually bringing me to, for some reason, they're bringing me to all the cities in the Bible that were destroyed in order for something new to be created. That's what this energy is. It's like something that wasn't working, something that was out of alignment, something that was heavy, that was just not in the energy of love. Anything not in the energy of love, that's what Kali is. Anything not in the energy of love, she destroys in order to create in the energy of love. Anything out of alignment with love is torn down in order to be built back up in the energy of love, because it is all about love. And so even though it's the dark divine feminine, the dark mother, or I should say the divine mother, it's all about creation too. Well, the divine masculine is beginning to understand what the divine feminine went through, that she went through essentially, upending her entire life, making tough decisions for herself. And not just that, but she went through an entire journey where she just went into the underworld of herself in order to grow, in order to expand, in order to understand herself, and in order to get and understand her connection with God. It was the hardest thing. This journey has been the hardest thing the divine feminine has ever had to do. Divine masculine is beginning to appreciate and understand that, because they're beginning to go through the same, letting down that resistance, facing their resistance, and understanding that their greatest battle has always been with themselves. All right. Five of Pentacles, yeah. So I feel like the divine masculine is facing some difficult emotions, some heavy emotions. I'm particularly hearing where they had denied the feminine, either the feminine within themselves or the feminine in their connection. I'm also hearing maybe they even denied the feminine her journey. Wasn't able to see everything that the divine feminine was experiencing or going through. I'm also hearing they were not able to hold space for the divine feminine because they were not in their conscious masculine energy. If you're not in the conscious masculine energy, divine masculine energy, you're not capable of holding space for the divine feminine's depth and breadth of emotion, because the divine feminine feels fully. And she needs to be able to feel. She needs to be able to feel the depth of everything. She needs to be able to express everything. And so I feel like the divine masculine is feeling this sense of remorse and feeling this sense of regret, and heaviness of emotions, and understanding where they were kind of lacking, or where they were not honoring the feminine because they weren't honoring her emotions. They weren't able to hold space for that. But I do feel like that's all beginning to change. I feel like this awareness is changing everything. Ace of Wands, Seven of Pentacles, and Ten of Swords. Yeah, I'm feeling it's more like this. Let me put this over to the side. I feel like they're facing themselves. I feel like this Ten of Swords is, it's like this ending. Remember I just said that it's like they're releasing their resistance, they're facing their resistance, they're feeling the heaviness of this emotions. I feel like that's ending a major cycle, and there's a new one that is beginning. They're planting new seeds. This is who I want to be. This is who I want to become. I want to hold space for the feminine. I want to feel my emotions. I want to be able to stand up side by side with my feminine in equal partnership, in beautiful, loving relationship. I want to be able to express love both for my feminine and for myself and for the world. There's I'm getting the Ace of Wands as an energy of enlightenment. There's this new sense of enlightenment. If they had been spiritually aware or intellectually spiritual before, conceptually spiritual before, there is a sense of embodiment that's coming in here. They're becoming much more conscious and embodying that spiritual nature. So it's not just of the mind now, it's now integrating within their soul, integrating within their self. There's a sense of new awakening, new enlightenment that's coming in here, and that's causing them to really plant new seeds, and I'm almost getting like start fresh. Tell me more about the Seven of Pentacles, please. The Fool, start fresh. What did I just say? Exactly. The Fool, start fresh. Planting new seeds, start fresh, starting a new beginning. This is going to require some strength for the Divine Masculine, some courage for the Divine Masculine. It's not easy. They've been on the precipice of this for a very long time. Again, now they're facing their resistance, understanding where they were in resistance. They were not able to kind of step forward. There was a lot of fear that was here because there was a lot of heavy emotion. There was a lot of difficulty, especially if it comes to their past. But I feel like they're being set free here. They're being set free, and they understand their freedom is on the other side of their fear. Beautiful. Yeah, their freedom's on the other side of their fear. The Ace of Pentacles, it's like she's holding the sun here. It's just so bright and so energetic, and it's everything. And this is tangible. This is tangible. This is this new life for this Divine Masculine. If they want a new life, they have to get out of the old energy, and they're beginning to understand this. Anything else for the Divine Feminine? Temperance. She's in a place of just balance. I feel like she's actually holding space for the Divine Masculine as they're going through this awakening, this ascension. And that's what happens. As the feminine was going through, energetically, the masculine was holding space for her. Maybe not consciously aware of it, but energetically, in the higher realms, his higher self was holding space for her. And now the Divine Feminine is holding space for the Divine Masculine. And she's in this place of balance and holding steady. I do feel like she is having, as I shared, I experienced some emotional upheaval. Upheaval is not the right word. It's just some emotions coming up. But again, I was able to transmute it so quickly, much more quickly than I ever imagined I ever could. And that comes from a place of self-mastery. That comes from a place of balance within. And so I feel like the Divine Masculine is really going through their ascension, and the Divine Feminine is holding space, and she's in a place of balance, and she might be experiencing some little upsets, some little pinpricks, some little emotions here and there. But I feel like for the most part, she's remaining very, very steady within herself. Princess of Pentacles, yeah, she's moving forward, but in a very steady way, in a very balanced, it just feels like stability. She's pretty stable within herself right now. What's next? What's next? What's next for these sacred partners? Transformation, Death card, the Hermit, the Knight of Cups. This Hermit energy feels kind of like a planning kind of energy. So I feel like you're going through this transformation. I feel like your partnership might be going through this transformation as well because of the inner transformation that's being experienced. But I'm seeing all this green here, all this heart chakra energy. And yeah, look, the King of Wands. I feel like especially the masculine is going through this cycle where they are transforming within themselves and kind of going deep within and almost like listening to their inner guidance now rather than their mind, rather than this is what I should do. They're listening to what they want to do. They're listening to their heart. And it's making them, it's turning them into, transforming them into this King of Wands, this conscious divine leader that is going to take action with emotions to offer this emotional cup of love to the Divine Feminine. And not just to the Divine Feminine, although that is going to be the greatest expression of the love that they have within themselves, but as they offer that love to the Divine Feminine, they're offering love to the world, because they recognize that the feminine is their partner, and the more that they come together, the more that love that they have for each other expands into the rest of the world. It's not that, oh, I'm going to be in a relationship with this person and it's just love between the two of us and love has nowhere else to go. It's just the two of us. That's codependency. That's an old paradigm of relationship. This kind of connection, when you express your love to each other, that love is expansive and it affects everything. It helps to raise the vibration and the frequency of everything around you because you are in the highest energy of love. And that's what the Divine Masculine especially is feeling right now. If this is you, Divine Feminine, I feel like you are I feel like you've gone through this transformation. This really doesn't feel like you. You might be ending old cycles energetically, or you might be ending some things physically. Take it as it resonates for you. And you might be kind of in like a little bit of a hibernation mode. Like I said, it's kind of like a stillness that's happening right now. So this might be that stillness. But again, I feel like this is you just kind of honoring yourself, loving yourself, expressing yourself as you do. This really feels more like the Divine Masculine, but this could apply to you as well, just in a little bit of a different way. Things are going to be picking up momentum very, very quickly. And one more time, we have the Two of Cups on the bottom of the deck. So I do feel like these next 2 months going into the new year, surprises is what I'm getting. Just the word surprises. Expect the unexpected. So that's going to be it for tonight's reading. We will be back later this week with much, much more in-depth readings and channelings. Make sure that you're subscribed to both of my channels, and make sure that you're checking out all of my social media platforms, because there's going to be exclusive content on each of those platforms. I do have new daily messages coming up here on YouTube, so make sure you're checking those out in the YouTube Shorts. And over on Instagram, for example, we are going to be doing some more exclusive collective channelings and reels over there that I'm not able to upload here. So make sure that you're following all the social media stuff. All right, you guys, that's going to be it. I am sending you so much love, so much light. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and we'll see you soon. Bye.